Hi, this is Jason Nickleby, Coordinator of Officials with the Minnesota State High School League, and this is basketball officiating training tape number 4. Going to take a look at 3 more plays again this week. Not picking on any one official or crew or team, just trying to learn from these plays. Mainly how we have discussions as a crew, both in pregame and during the game, to make sure that we're covering the court the way we need to and limiting double whistles because we're having conversations about who has primary and who should be taking those calls to the table if we do have air in the whistle. So, doing a nice job. Keep up the good work. And with that, let's take a look at some plays. Okay, in this play, let's talk about positioning, our mechanics, and communication, and a little bit about judgment, but mainly our communication and mechanics positioning on this play. So you'll see here we have a replay of the foul that was ultimately called, which is there. But let's take a look at our positioning. So Trail moves to get to a position where he can see space, works low beneath the 28-foot line, and stays put. So that's really good by the Trail. Good positioning. The lead is a step off the lane line on the ball side, and we are mirroring the ball, and that's great. And then we're stationary as well when this play occurs. So that's well done mechanically. Center is moving down to the correct spot and ends up there and stationary as well at the time of contact. So good positioning, movement, and mechanics as it relates to our coverage of this particular play. Now we dump the ball in the paint. We have a one-on-one matchup in the lead's primary area. Maintains legal guarding position after establishing it initially, so that's good. But then you'll notice on the replay that the defender who is maintaining legal guardian position and verticality puts her arm down into the vertical space of the shooter and whacks her on the elbow. So definitely a shooting foul, and I'm glad we got this. But take a look at our mechanics. So this is one that we really need to sell a little bit more from a spot mechanics perspective. And I just say that because if you watch this from a lot of other different views, it sure looks like a clean block, like a good play. And especially from the coaches or the bench perspective, they may not see this contact or understand why a foul was called. So we really want to stay in the spot that we blew the whistle and give our spot mechanics. So fists in the air, signal that we have an on the arm type foul, and 2 shots, and then communicate that with our partners so that they're ready to administer the free throw. So that's the only thing I would say about this play being picky is we want to sell this one a little bit more because it's not as clear until you watch the replay that it's clearly on the elbow of the shooter. So I'm glad we got it, but I think we need to sell it at the spot with spot mechanics and then communicate with our partners about the number of free throws so that we can go ahead and administer the free throws properly. So nice positioning and movement. The only thing we want to clean up a little bit is our spot mechanics and our communication so that we can move forward with the game as quickly and as efficiently as possible. But nice job by the crew in positioning, mechanics, and getting this foul. All right, on this one, let's take a look at our positioning and how we view this play, and then we can talk about the rule aspects of this play. So we start out with the ball on the center side. The lead flexes because the ball does settle on that side beneath the free throw line extended, and then the center sticks with the competitive matchup. As you see, the center comes out to view space, takes a little step out to trail. We probably could stay even low and work beneath the matchup, which we've talked about previously. But either way, we want to get to a spot where we're not looking through the back of the ball handler. So we do that. And then as the drive occurs, we allow it to proceed into the center and leads primary area. Remember, if we have a one-on-one matchup, we're going to draw a line down the middle of the paint And if it's on the center side, the center's going to take it. If it's on the lead side, they're going to take it. So if you, as you notice, this goes away from the trail into the center's primary area of responsibility. So this would be the center's primary on this play. And as you notice, the center takes a step lower, takes several steps low to really get a good look at this action. And that is really well done by the center. Puts himself in great position to see this. And ultimately, we make an excellent no call. So if we're talking about the rule aspect of this play, the defender establishes legal guarding position, so 2 feet on the ground facing her opponent, and then she moves laterally and backwards to maintain that position, doesn't move into the dribbler, doesn't hip check her, arm bar, steer her off course, etc., maintains her legal guarding position, her verticality, and then the offense is the one that initiates this contact. And sometimes we put air in the whistle because we are anticipating that this kind of contact is either a defensive foul or that there's something illegal about it. And we do a really nice job of officiating the defense here. The defense has perfectly legal position and technique, and we allow this play to play out with a no call. And if there's anything that's going to be called in this play, it would be an offensive foul if we had significant displacement. But the ball kind of gets away from her and it goes right to the defense and they have it. No advantage gained. We're going to play on, and that's exactly what the crew does with this play. So well done positioning, movement, mechanics wise. Good job of allowing the center to officiate this play, and this is no called properly as we have excellent verticality and legal guarding position. On this last play, another good example of positioning mechanics and judgment, and we're going to talk about some considerations for the restricted area as well. But take a look at our positioning. The trail may be a smidge high. Now, totally understandable. We just did a throw in and we were doing the bounce pass for the throw in, so we are a little higher than maybe we typically would, so no problem. We would want to adjust, work low at the 28-foot mark if possible. And notice as this play develops, the trail does take a step or two lower to work beneath this matchup, so we're not looking through the back of the dribbler, so that's well done. The lead is mirroring the basketball, so now we're a step off the lane line. We're not going to flex, and then when it moves back out a little bit wider, we do mirror the basketball, and then when we have the play at the basket, we are stationary for that contact. So that's well done. And then the center is at her position where we would need the center. So that's well done as well. So the second part, verticality and legal guarding position, we talked about in the last play. You'll notice that when we throw the ball into the paint on this flashing cutter, we establish legal guarding position, 2 feet on the ground, facing our opponent, and then we maintain the verticality and legal guarding position legally without making contact. So that's all legal, all good. Now the follow-up piece of that is, if this was a secondary defender who establishes that legal guarding position, that initial legal guarding position in the restricted area, this would be a restricted area blocking foul. However, this is a primary defender, therefore we're going to judge this as like we would any block charge play anywhere on the court. So establishes legal guarding position, maintains verticality legally, contact initiated by the offensive player. We have a proper no call on this play. So we have to put all those pieces together, and it really helps to be in excellent position and use great mechanics and then put the rules pieces together to get plays like this right. Don't anticipate that this is going to be a foul just like the last one. You know, it's totally fine to have a no call when we have incidental contact on legal defense or illegal offensive maneuvers as well. So well done by the crew here, positioning, mechanics, movement, and then our judgment of verticality and legal guarding position rules, and then just some considerations on the restricted arc piece to keep in mind, primary versus secondary. But well done by the crew on this play. Okay, that will do it for training tape 4. We still got about a month to go before section playoffs. Doing a nice job. Just a couple things to consider. Keep working with your crews, communicating, pre-gaming, talking about coverages, and then as we've talked about in some of the other memos, really have a good discussion about communication and how we can communicate with coaches, um, and their perception of how we handle one bench versus the other. Um, just some really important things to consider. And sometimes we think that we're handling situations really well and that we're managing benches and people, but sometimes our body language or maybe a little phrase that we say just doesn't get perceived as well as we think. And so just be really cognizant of that. Have a crew conversation about how we can manage coaches and players a little bit better, knowing that here we are getting into the middle and later part of the season, and coaches and players and fans, they're tired of dealing with COVID restrictions, tired of sickness, injury, maybe tired of losing. Um, and we get all that as officials, but when they are emotional, we're gonna just maintain a level head and communicate effectively, work the game, you know, be consistent as a crew within that game, and we'll be in good shape. So just some things to consider as we move forward. Doing a great job. Keep it up. Stay healthy and safe, and we'll talk to you next week.